Right. You haven't answered my question. Why do you, if it was the other way around, you would be rightly outraged. Why do you think it's acceptable as somebody running
Well,
for
these,
office in the United States to
well,
be
they can
so
definitely say
blatantly,
that.
why would you be so blatantly hateful towards one group of people?
You call it hateful and bigotry and racist and all of that garbage. I call it the truth. America is a Christian nation. These Muslims come to Christian nations, burn our churches, rape our women, shoot our American soldiers point blank, killing one of them in broad daylight, then chanting Allah Akbar.
Welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, hit that like button and subscribe right now. We break down the most chaotic political media moments every single week, and you don't want to miss it. Today, we are diving into a segment from Piers Morgan Uncensored. In this clip, a congressional candidate named Valentina Gomez goes completely off the rails with some of the most textbook, unhinged anti-Muslim rhetoric you'll ever see on mainstream television. Let's roll the tape and react. Before that, please, tell me where you are watching from. In the comments section, I love to see how far this little community spreads.
Many people have not been laughing at your video, particularly at phrases like "vote for me so we can kick every dirty Muslim out of Texas." If you had a Muslim candidate in Texas saying "vote for me so we can kick every dirty Christian out of Texas," you would rightly, I imagine, be outraged at that. Why do you think it's acceptable to use a phrase like "so we can kick every dirty Muslim out of Texas"?
Good morning, Piers. And since you didn't have the decency of introducing me correctly, I'll happily do it. Good morning to all of my beautiful people in England. Hello to all of my lads in the UK. Last time I was there, I had an amazing time. I'm Valentina Gomez. I will be the next congresswoman from Texas, and I'm a warrior of the one true King. And Piers, the United States and England was built by white Christian men that follow Jesus Christ, not by a bunch of Mohammeds. So let's get that cleared out right away.
Right.
Not by a bunch of Mohammeds? Aside from the sheer disrespect, the historical ignorance here is staggering. First of all, America and the UK were built by the labor of people from countless different backgrounds, faiths, and ethnicities. Second, does she not realize that freedom of religion is literally woven into the DNA of the American founding? Thomas Jefferson explicitly wrote about protecting the rights of Muslims, or Mohammedans, as they said back then, in the Virginia Statute for Religious Freedom. This isn't just anti-Muslim, it's anti-history.
You haven't answered my question. Why do you, if it was the other way around, you would be rightly outraged. Why do you think it's acceptable as somebody running for office in the United States to be so blatantly, why would you be so blatantly hateful towards one group of people?
You call it hateful and bigotry and racist and all of that garbage. I call it the truth. America is a Christian nation. These Muslims come to Christian nations, burn our churches, rape our women, shoot our American soldiers point blank, killing one of them in broad daylight, then chanting Allah Akbar. Piers.
Wow. Let's pause right there. Talk about throwing logic out the window in the first 30 seconds. She literally takes the horrific actions of extreme fringe criminals or terrorists and uses them to paint a broad brush over 2 billion people. If a candidate used this exact same logic against any other religious group, their career would be over by lunch. But notice how casually she tries to rebrand blatant bigotry as the truth. It's not the truth, it's a cheap fear tactic designed to fire up an angry base. Let's keep watching, because it somehow gets worse.
My brother is a National Guardsman. He literally puts himself on the line for this nation. So yes, these dirty Muslims have no place in America and have no place in England.
But as you speak, you see, I'm just seeing a brazen Islamophobe. And people say that phrase doesn't exist. It doesn't. And I'm sure you find it funny, but I think you can make perfectly pertinent points about what's happened here without descending into such vile hatred towards an entire religion. And there are 5 million Muslims in the United States. Why would you want to categorize them in such a grotesque manner?
Oh, and those 5 million Muslims should definitely go back to their 56 Muslim nations. And let's get something very clear right now in your little show, Piers. I don't fear the groomers. I don't fear the pedophiles. I don't fear the corrupt politicians. And I definitely do not fear the dirty Muslims.
And there it is. The mask didn't just slip, it was completely ripped off. Calling an entire group of people dirty Muslims and telling 5 million American citizens to go back to countries they aren't even from. This is bottom-of-the-barrel xenophobia. It's the kind of rhetoric that actively compromises the safety of everyday hardworking Muslim citizens, neighbors, and doctors. It's completely indefensible, and honestly, it's refreshing to see the rest of the panel's faces just drop in absolute disgust. Let's see how the co-panelist responds.
Let me bring in...
Can I jump in here real quick?
Yeah, you can, yeah.
No.
I mean, we should be clear about the fact. I mean, sure, Valentina is just a bigot, plain and simple, engages in the worst kinds of bigotry imaginable. But it's worth noting that she's fundamentally un-American because the American Constitution says that you cannot discriminate against people based on religion. That is pretty clear. And so she's engaging in an anti-American campaign in the name of protecting America, which is just irony beyond imagination. So yes, she's a charlatan. She doesn't know what she's talking about. You can tell by looking at her that her IQ hovers around room temperature. To me, the real scandal is not engaging with her directly.
Boom. Spot on. He nailed it. The absolute irony of these extreme nationalists claiming they want to protect the country while actively trampling on the First Amendment of the Constitution. You cannot claim to love America while hating the fundamental liberties that make America what it is. Stripping away religious freedom is as un-American as it gets.
Because she's beneath taking seriously. But the problem is with the GOP that you have a major party in this country having a candidate running under its flagship, engaging in this kind of really incredibly hateful, incendiary rhetoric, and they do nothing about it. We've seen it with the dissent with Donald Trump himself, with the lawlessness that he has brought to the table and the corruption that he's allowed to get away with, without the party really standing up and putting country before party and before president. And you can see that slippery slope now leading to this level, where you have just a complete hateful clown like this person representing that party without the party objecting to it.
Yeah, you know what?
Leading us towards a very, very dark place in this country.
I actually completely...
All right.
I completely agree with you. There are perfectly legitimate...
No, Piers. And to
well,
the other
I actually do agree with him. I think your brazen bigotry is obvious.
Let's make something very clear, Piers.
Yeah.
I only discriminate against terrorists. These terrorists have no place in America. They have no place in the world.
Seeing political discourse descend into this level of playground insults and blatant discrimination is wild, but it's a reminder of why we need to call out this kind of bigotry whenever it rears its head on prime time. What do you guys think? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's keep the discussion civil but honest. If you appreciated this breakdown, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
And